Hello and welcome to the GameForce.Blog. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you never miss one of our videos. Doing this will also help grow our audience on this platform. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and enjoy the video. In this video, we are going to talk about Wizard class in detail. As a wizard, players will be able to wield powerful magical abilities and devastate their enemies from a distance. The wizard class is known for its versatility and its ability to control the battlefield with a variety of spells and abilities. Some of the key features of the wizard class in Diablo Immortal include elemental magic, teleportation, familiar summoning, area of effect spells, crowd control abilities, energy management. As your primary skill, you have magic missile and electrocute. Magic Missile, unlocked at level 1. When the skill is activated, the wizard fires a bolt of magical energy that homes in on a single target, dealing damage on impact. Magic Missile is a great skill for taking out individual targets quickly and efficiently, especially when combined with other spells or abilities in the wizard's arsenal. Electrocute, unlocked at level 34. When the skill is activated, the wizard fires a bolt of lightning that arcs between multiple targets, dealing damage to each enemy hit. Electrocute is a great skill for taking out groups of enemies quickly and efficiently, especially when combined with other spells or abilities in the wizard's arsenal. It can also be particularly effective against enemies that are clustered closely together, as the lightning arcs between multiple targets, potentially hitting them all at once. Coming to secondary skills, we have Arcane Wind, unlocked at level 1. Arcane Wind is a wizard skill in Diablo Immortal that unleashes a gust of wind that deals arcane damage to enemies in a cone-shaped area in front of the player. The skill has a short casting time and can be aimed in any direction within a limited range. Upon hitting enemies, the skill has a chance to trigger a secondary effect called Arcane Blast, which deals additional arcane damage and knocks back enemies within a small radius of the initial impact. The chance to trigger Arcane Blast increases with the player's spell critical hit chance. Scorch, unlocked at level 1. It allows players to conjure a fiery explosion that deals fire damage to enemies in a targeted area. The spell has a short casting time and can be aimed in any direction within a limited range. Upon hitting enemies, the spell has a chance to trigger a secondary effect called Immolation, which causes enemies to burn for additional fire damage over time. The chance to trigger Immolation increases with the player's spell critical hit chance. Lightning Nova, unlocked at level 3. It allows players to release a burst of lightning that deals lightning damage to enemies in a circular area around the player. The spell has a short casting time and can be aimed in any direction within a limited range. Upon hitting enemies, the spell has a chance to trigger a secondary effect called Chain Lightning, which causes a bolt of lightning to jump from the initial target to nearby enemies, dealing additional lightning damage. The number of targets that Chain Lightning can jump to increases with the player's spell critical hit chance. Ray of Frost, unlocked at level 8. It allows players to shoot a beam of icy cold that deals cold damage to enemies in a targeted direction. The spell has a short casting time and can be aimed in any direction within a limited range. Upon hitting enemies, the spell has a chance to trigger a secondary effect called Sleet Storm, which creates a cold area of effect that deals additional cold damage to enemies within it. The chance to trigger Sleet Storm increases with the player's spell critical hit chance. Teleport, unlocked at level 15. It allows players to instantly teleport a short distance in a targeted direction. The spell has a short casting time and can be used to quickly move around the battlefield, dodge enemy attacks, and reposition for better tactical advantage. Teleportation is an essential skill for wizards, as it allows them to quickly move around and avoid danger. It can also be used in combination with other offensive and defensive spells to create powerful combinations and synergies, such as using teleportation to quickly move into position for a powerful spell like Meteor or Black Hole, or to escape from a dangerous situation. Ice Crystal, unlocked at level 20. It allows players to create a large crystal of ice that deals cold damage to enemies in a targeted area. The spell has a short casting time and can be aimed in any direction within a limited range. Upon hitting enemies, the spell has a chance to trigger a secondary effect called Frost Nova, which creates a cold area of effect that freezes enemies in place, reducing their movement speed and attack rate. The chance to trigger Frost Nova increases with the player's spell critical hit chance. Ice Crystal is a powerful offensive spell that can be used to deal significant damage to groups of enemies and bosses. It can also be used as a reliable source of crowd control, as the Frost Nova effect can freeze enemies in place and allow the player to reposition for better tactical advantage. Disintegrate. Unlocked at level 28. It allows players to channel a beam of intense energy that deals arcane damage to enemies in a targeted direction. The spell has a short casting time and can be aimed in any direction within a limited range. As the spell is channeled, it continuously drains the player's mana, and the beam's width and damage increase over time. Disintegrate can deal significant damage to single targets and can penetrate through walls and obstacles, making it useful for clearing out rooms and dealing with enemies at range. Black Hole. Unlocked at level 38. It allows players to create a vortex of gravitational force that draws in enemies and deals arcane damage to them. The spell has a short casting time and can be aimed in any direction within a limited range. Upon hitting enemies, the spell has a chance to trigger a secondary effect called Absolute Zero, which freezes enemies in place and deals additional cold damage to them. The chance to trigger Absolute Zero increases with the player's spell critical hit chance. Black Hole is a powerful offensive and defensive spell that can be used to control the battlefield and deal with groups of enemies. It can also be used in combination with other offensive spells like Meteor or Disintegrate to increase their effectiveness and damage potential. Meteor. Unlocked at level 41. It allows players to summon a fiery meteor from the sky that crashes down on enemies in a targeted area, dealing fire damage and stunning them. The spell has a short casting time and can be aimed in any direction within a limited range. Upon hitting enemies, the spell has a chance to trigger a secondary effect called Meteor Shower, which causes additional meteors to rain down on enemies in the area, dealing additional fire damage and stunning them. Ice Armor. Unlocked at level 44. It allows players to surround themselves with a protective layer of ice that absorbs damage and freezes enemies that hit the player in melee combat. The spell has a short casting time and provides the player with a significant boost in defensive capabilities. Ice Armor has multiple runes that can be used to customize the spell's effects, such as increasing the amount of damage absorbed by the ice shield, adding a chance to freeze enemies that hit the player, or causing enemies to take additional cold damage when they are hit while frozen. Arcane Torrent. Unlocked at level 47. It allows players to unleash a torrent of arcane energy that deals arcane damage to enemies in a targeted direction. The spell has a short casting time and can be aimed in any direction within a limited range. As the spell is cast, it creates a channel of energy that continuously deals damage to enemies in its path, with the damage and width of the channel increasing over time. Arcane Torrent can be a useful spell for dealing with groups of enemies, especially when combined with other offensive spells like Meteor or Disintegrate. Slow Time. Unlocked at level 50. It allows players to manipulate the flow of time in a targeted area, slowing down enemies and projectiles, while increasing the player's movement speed and attack rate. The spell has a short casting time and can be aimed in any direction within a limited range. When activated, the spell creates a bubble of slow time around the player that lasts for a limited duration. Enemies and projectiles within the bubble are slowed down, making it easier for the player to avoid attacks and deal damage. The spell also increases the player's movement speed and attack rate, allowing them to move and attack more quickly than normal. These were all the skills of the Wizard class. Let's talk about best attributes for Wizard: Intelligence, Fortitude, Vitality, Willpower, Strength. Wizard's main attribute is Intelligence, which means that Intelligence grants additional damage per point. Fortitude grants armor and armor penetration, making it a great secondary stat for added damage and survivability. Vitality adds to your life total and can help your wizard feel slightly less squishy. Willpower grants potency and resistance, increasing the duration and debuffs you inflict, and reducing the duration of debuffs on you. Strength has no effect on the wizard beyond the inherent +1 combat rating, making it your lowest priority. Coming to the best build for the wizard class. There are countless different ways you can choose to maximize the potential of the class, but if you're playing solo, The best wizard build in Diablo Immortal is the Firestorm Battle Mage wizard build. The wizard, at its heart, is a class that uses ranged attacks. However, unlike the glass cannon demon hunter class, wizards can get a bit closer to the enemy to wield elemental magic up close. You'll primarily group enemies with crowd control techniques before dealing with high area of effect damage. You'll be using Arcane Wind combined with Meteor to create a firestorm and deal 50% more damage. And should things get hairy, you'll be able to use Teleport to create some distance. This build includes Magic Missile, Lightning Nova, Teleport, Arcane Wind, Meteor. Now, let's talk about some gears for the wizard class, which are very great to boost the overall character's stats. Helmet, Lion's Resonant Wisdom, Chest, Starcaller's Drapery, Shoulders, Arcane Intensifiers, Legs, Galabringer's Leggings, Main Hand, Dwinshipper, Offhand, Unrepentant Gale. Overall, the wizard class in Diablo Immortal is a highly mobile and adaptable class that can deal massive damage to groups of enemies while controlling the battlefield with a variety of spells and abilities. We hope you enjoyed it and have found some guidance as well. We want to thank the following sources that helped make this video possible. Please follow their links in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.